Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. This is the second hearing of the month for the City of Tempe hearing officer. My name is Vanessa McDonald. I'll be conducting the hearing this afternoon. We have a real brief agenda, but I do need to read something into the record before we move on to our agenda items. The City of Tempe hearing officer is authorized by Arizona Revised Statutes in the City of Tempe Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer has the duty to carry out the provisions and the intent of the Tempe City Code and the Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer is granted the authority to conduct public hearings to decide upon the abatement of code violations occurring on properties within the city. These violations include deteriorated pools, structures, or landscaping, storage of junk or refuse, and inoperable or unregistered vehicles. Abatement actions are brought before the hearing officer by the city's Code Compliance Division, typically after numerous attempts at contacting the property owner. The hearing officer may issue an order directing the owner, occupant, property manager, or other responsible person to remediate a code violation or to authorize the city to abate the property to correct the code violation. The cost of the abatement is the responsibility of the owner of the property where the violation occurred and will be collected as an assessment against the property in violation of the code. On today's agenda, we have two items. We have a set of minutes from March 5th, 2024, and we have a single property abatement. Any property owner who is aggrieved by a decision of the hearing officer may file an appeal within 14 calendar days after the hearing officer has made a decision. The deadline for appealing any decision rendered today is 3 p.m. on April 16th, 2024. No, is that correct? No, April 2nd. Sorry, 2024. Appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustment, after which they may also be appealed to the Superior Court. The property owner has 14 days to either file an appeal or bring the property into code compliance within this 14-day window. If neither of these things happen within the required time frame, the property will then be abated by the city. Joining me this afternoon from Community Development are, to my left, Cassidy Hernandez and Sean DeFara. Thank you for being here, guys. The first item on our agenda this afternoon is a set of minutes from March 5th, 2024. Cassidy sent those to me shortly after the hearing, and I believe they accurately reflect what took place at that hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and approve the minutes from March 5th, 2024. The second item on our agenda is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the Robinson property. This property is located at 2215 South Sierra Vista Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe Code Compliance, represented this afternoon by Code Inspector David Rich. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer. My name is David Rich, and I am a Code Compliance Inspector with the City of Tempe Code Compliance Division. I am here this evening to request a 180-day open abatement on the property located at 2215 South Sierra Vista Drive, Tempe, Arizona, 85282, which is in this jurisdiction. This case was initiated on October 17th, 2023, for a violation of junk, trash, and debris in the front and rear yards, a dead tree in the front yard, and overheight grass and weeds in the front and rear yard. On October 18th, 2023, the property was inspected and the violations were confirmed. A first notice was mailed to the homeowner, Brittany N. Robinson, at the Sierra Vista address. On November 1st, 2023, a follow-up inspection was conducted and the violations were found to still be present. A final notice was mailed to the homeowner. On November 15th, 2023, another inspection was conducted and the violations were still present at that time. A pink flyer was issued and posted on the property outlining the violations. On November 27th, 2023, Brittany Robinson called Code Compliance and spoke with a Code Compliance administrator. At that point, she was given a 2-week extension to address the overheight grass and weeds and the junk, trash, and debris. On December 15th, 2023, the case was reassigned to me. I conducted an inspection of the property where I observed junk, trash, and debris in the carport, a large dead tree in the front yard, overheight grass and weeds in the rear yard. Also on that day, Code Compliance received an email from the property owner advising that she would have all the violations cleaned up. On January 2nd, 2024, a follow-up inspection was conducted. The junk, trash, and debris at that time had been removed from the carport and the rear yard. The overheight grass and weeds were still present and had not been addressed, and the dead tree, which was still present, had been scheduled for removal at the end of January. On January 10th, 2024, an inspection was conducted, and I observed junk, trash, and debris consisting of bags of miscellaneous trash and items in the carport and in the rear yard. I sent an email to the homeowner introducing myself and advising her that I would be the inspector now working the case, and requesting that she address the junk, trash, and debris prior to the scheduled reinspection date for the tree removal. On February 1st, 2024, an inspection was conducted. The dead tree in the front yard had been taken down. However, the trunk of the tree had been left in the front yard. The junk, trash, and debris that was in the carport and rear yard were still present, and the front and rear yard were still in an overgrown state. On February 2nd, 2024, a final notice was mailed to the property owner addressing the junk, trash, and debris in the front and rear yard, trimming and removing dead portions of the bushes and shrubs and trees in the front and rear side yards, including the stump removal from the front yard, the cutting of the overheight grass and weeds in the front and rear yard as well. On February 14th, 2024, a notice of intent to abate for the property was completed. And then on March 19th, 2024, I conducted an inspection of the property to verify the violations were still present. I observed that the junk, trash, and debris in the carport had been removed. The large tree trunk that was in the front yard was in the process of being removed by a contractor. I did observe overheight grass and weed and deteriorated landscape still present in the front and rear yards, and other miscellaneous junk, trash, and debris were also present in the rear yards. I would now like to present photographs taken this morning of the violations.
Thank you.
All right. So this first picture shows the front yard in the process of having the tree, which was a rather large trunk laying back here, being removed. And also the junk, trash, and debris that was lining this wall has been removed as well. However, from the other side of the yard, when you look at it, you can see that you still have the overheight grass and weeds that haven't been trimmed in the front yard at this point. And then if you look over the wall at that point into this would be the north side yard of the property, you can see there are bags of miscellaneous items that appeared to be trash and other debris, some clothing items and stuff piled up along the wall on the inside of the property. And then immediately to the left, to the right of that, along the house, make sure that's, move it up there. There are other bags of trash and debris along here and along the wall as well. And this again is in the rear side yard of the property.
And again, that was this morning.
This is all this morning, yes, sir. And then this is just another picture of the same area, kind of illustrating how the junk, trash, and debris also extends back to where we weren't able to see it due to the trees and the bushes in the way. And then from the rear alley, we were able to get pictures of the rear landscaping to show we have trees that have dead branches coming down in a deteriorated appearance. And then on the bottom of the picture, you can see a rather large amount of overgrown weeds, grass, everything along here. Those pictures of the junk, trash, and debris that were in the yard are actually in this area. You can't really see it from the back due to the bushes and overgrown weeds right there. And then this is another picture from the back, just kind of looking more south, where you can see all of the landscape, deteriorated landscape through here. And then you can also see some of the junk, trash, and debris on the back patio right here. And then there's some more over here, and I've got a picture from the other angle that'll illustrate that as well. This is another close-up of the back there, kind of illustrating the overgrown grass and weeds and shrubs and everything all through this area right here. And then you can kind of see a little bit of the junk, trash, and debris along the patio there. And then from the other side, you're able to see more of the junk, trash, and debris that's on the property right here. We've got just bins, boxes, bags of miscellaneous items, torn up cardboard, garbage, different empty bottles, cans, and stuff like that. And then this is another picture kind of illustrating behind that, where you can see that patio that I was illustrating from the alley. You can see a little bit more of it there. There's more additional items through here, and then you have the overgrown grass and weeds in this area as well. And then final picture is just a close-up of the patio from the side there, where you can see that there are a number of items, cardboard boxes, coolers, wood, pieces of wood and items, an empty weight bench right here, and all that.
Was she home?
She was not home at the time that I went there. The only person that was present was the contractor.
Okay, the contractor who was in the process of taking down the tree.
The tree in the front.
So I made notes that there were 3 different communications with the property owner, and it was just for her to express her frustration, like she was dissatisfied
Yes.
about the whole process.
Yes.
And she committed in January or actually in November, that she was going to have the tree taken down in January, but here we are in March and it was just taken down today. So, yeah, I mean, she's dissatisfied, but also she has a lot to take care of on her property.
Yes.
Mr. DeFara, is anyone here, or is anyone on the line wanting to speak on this item?
Madam Hearing Officer, no one online.
Great, thank you. I'll make a note that the only people here in the chamber are City of Tempe staff, so there is no one here from the public wanting to speak on this agenda item. Well, I thank you for your very thorough presentation, and a picture is worth 1,000 words, and so you had about 11 or 12 pictures, so that's a lot of words, and they clearly demonstrate that the property needs to be attended to. I'm glad she took that big tree down and, made that effort, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to bring it not only into code, but just for overall general health and safety. I would imagine there's roof rats in this area and other issues as well. So that being said, I'm going to grant your 180 days. I don't know if she will watch the hearing or understand that she still has the 2-week window within which she could clean up the whole property and the abatement would be stayed. But in any event, you're going to have a 180-day tool to help you monitor and take care of the property. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
That concludes our agenda this afternoon. Mr. DeFara, any announcements?
Madam Hearing Officer, one announcement. The next hearing officer is scheduled for Tuesday, April 2nd at 5 p.m. here in the council chambers and on Tempe Channel 11.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. There being no other business, we're adjourned.